Hello, this is a side show, and I'm Theodore Parker, and today is Monday, August 29th, 2022. Still talking about wearing a mask where necessary, and in your area, you can check as to what other health issues are being addressed. Right now, it's about 73 degrees in this area, going up to 88. Air quality is good. And for you sunscreen wearers, the UV index is low. Just as I finished up Friday, I ran across some items, excuse me, related to the metaverse and Mark Zuckerberg. So it was about three or four items that kind of brought things up to speed as to what was going on with the metaverse and how he's handling things and things of that nature. So I thought that I would kind of peruse those this morning. What's today? It was about, let me see, 6 articles. So the first one was every day you wake up and you're punched in the stomach. Mark Zuckerberg tells Joe Rogan he hates how the day starts as Meta CEO. So we all kind of recognize Joe Rogan and his podcast on Spotify and how he has a tendency to jump in on any and all issues. So this particular point, he has an interview with Mark Zuckerberg. So Mark is talking about his day, and some of the quotes or some of the things that he said was that he has his text messages and memos and things like that that come to him, and that's usually all bad news. They usually reserve the good news to tell him in person. But the point about the punch in the stomach thing is like he doesn't exactly dread it, but he has to kind of prepare himself. So he gets up in the morning and does some kind of exercise. And he found out that running does not stop his mind from working. So, drum roll, he has been pursuing jujitsu. So most recently, I think one of the Hollywood celebrities scored a gold in jiu-jitsu. Um, hmm, the one that was in the Batman movies with the mask on. I'm sorry, I can't call his name right now. But anyway, so that's Mark's interest. He says it gives him a chance to focus and to prepare and to work out in a way that he has to bring his total self into it. Which brings back to my recommendations, for that 8-minute Tai Chi. And I could give you like the website for it, but I'm quite sure if you Googled 8-minute Tai Chi, you would come up with the correct video. And once you get on there, you probably could probably order the video for yourself. And I think last time I looked, it was free. So you can take all that in mind. So that was just one small description. Seeing Mark Zuckerberg surfing and doing various other activities, but settled in on that one. And I can kind of relate to that, even though I'm just a big fish in a small pond, or a small pond with a big fish, however you might want to say it. Because on my side, I have Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. And those three apps kind of like keep me hopping. I do have like my own schedule as to how to handle those things, but to put it mildly, it is a 24/7 operation. Because it's international, then it's like it never sleeps. There's always some message, there's always some activity, there's always something that's going on. So sometimes I have to tell people, well, look, I do have to sleep sometimes. So that kind of covers that one. The next one, the internet hated Mark Zuckerberg's 10 billion metaverse selfie, so he made another one. If you remember when metaverse was first introduced, and it's been, if not a year, close to a year now, he had the avatar of himself, like walking into the office and doing various other things. And I'll hit on that a little bit later on. Not sure if what we see in commercials is actually what's going on. And by me not having any firsthand experience with the metaverse and that system with the VR virtual reality glasses, and I cannot speak firsthand on it. But there was a little disturbance as to what was going on when people wanted to go shopping in certain sections of the universe. And I kind of like boiled it down to maybe you buy the set, the VR set, and when I last looked, it was going for like $299, and you buy the various parts or game sections that you want to be involved with to go with it. So that's how I came to understand it. So this new little avatar, or new avatar of Mark Zuckerberg, looks like, I guess for lack of a better explanation and without being too demeaning of it, looks like a drawing or a sketch of him. So $10 billion on that. And with that being said, there's another set of VR in the workings that's coming out, which I understand, I think October, if I'm not mistaken, but soon anyway. That's going to be $799. Now, for that kind of money, for a person like myself, I'm retired, would be like, it should cook, clean, wash, pay bills, and everything else. But maybe somebody else in a different, tax bracket might consider that a steal. The other thing is, at one time when I was first being introduced in the metaverse, I was thinking it might be like glasses and, you could do like a Zoom thing, but nothing that I could think of actually compares to it, because even though I might have a concept or conceptual imagination rolling around in my mind, like playing games or whatever, or even so much as making a phone call, like on FaceTime, or like when COVID-19 was really rampant and even sports games, people would buy a Zoom seat to go in and watch the game or whatever. It still doesn't connect, if I'm understanding correctly, people in different places to be in the same scene, if I'm understanding it. So that might be something that they are working towards. So the project that's being worked on now for Metaverse is how much can you put into a pair of glasses? So on the show with Joe Rogan, one of the things that's being worked on, prototype, however you might want to say it, is a set of glasses that work with the metaverse that also have a camera, excuse me, so that you can film or see or whatever the case may be. So Joe Rogan comments that that's something that could be hacked or in some way hidden so that a person would not know that they are being filmed or recorded. So Mark Zuckerberg responds that on the glasses, there's a light indicator that comes on that shows that the camera is operating or operational. So the misgivings about filming anyone without their consent, was also discussed on this new prototype for these glasses. So Mark Zuckerberg, in another comment article, excuse me, tells Joe Rogan he hopes his metaverse frees people from big cities with different values. Excuse me. So again, this has to do with, I guess, crossing borders. And, I do have computer background. school trained and all that kind of stuff. And it probably is not so much in the coding, if you'll just allow me a few technical references. It probably would have to be in the hardware so that you could manage that, because the commercials on TV give the concept that if a family like a father and daughter wanted to simulate going fishing, that she is one place and he is another. And they're using the metaverse as their meeting ground. So I don't know how true that is to fact or how factual that is to the actual circumstances, but that's the perception that I get from looking at the commercials. So Mark Zuckerberg admits to Joe Rogan that a simple hack to Meta smart glasses could allow the user to secretly film others, but he's saying with this light on for the camera, that would require a little bit of extra work. Joe Rogan was simplifying it by just saying putting a piece of tape over it, and that was like, whoa, I don't know about a piece of tape covering this, but. So how much can you get into a pair of glasses? As far as Meta working on its, Meta working via Facebook on its content cautionary groups and people that are on there not doing good things. Meta removes Proud Boys network, which ended up being about 450 to 480 accounts that were directing or organizing people toward the Proud Boys either through Instagram or through Facebook. So they kind of hopped on that and kind of took care of it. And I would understand in the daily operations that you might have a filter set up, to stop or warn people about certain things that's going on. I know where I operate from, there is a advisory or warning for certain activities that I can see related to certain people, and I act accordingly. I don't say like, get out of here, you gotta go. No, I don't do that, but I'm just, which is now kind of like the universal warning, keep your business to yourself. Don't give away any financial details. Don't give away any private information. I used to say, if you're not sitting in a person's office yourself, talking to them face to face, keep your business to yourself. So that still kind of holds true. So that's just a quick summary of what I ran across on Friday about Metaverse and Mark Zuckerberg and his continuing role as CEO. And I'd mentioned that Sheryl Sandberg had gotten married. That was like the weekend of the day that I mentioned it. And that was in Wyoming, although no other details were revealed. So it seems that the husband had been divorced years ago. Cheryl's husband, I think, had passed away. So after they met each other, they kind of got to know each other a little better to the point where they got married. So again, congratulations to Cheryl and her husband. On today's news, fuel leak interrupts launch countdown of NASA moon rocket. That was number one. And speaking of flooding, as the governor here signs more bills or more paperwork to help the people in eastern Kentucky with their flooding issues, Pakistan pleads for international help as parts of the country resemble a small ocean. Flooding. Number three, IAEA to visit Ukraine nuclear plant amid renewed shelling. Russia just will not observe the rules and continues to shell the nuclear plant. And speaking of Russia, the infrastructure there is just about bottomed out as you may have heard in the past months, businesses pulling out of Russia, no longer doing business there, to the point, and with the sanctions going on and people taking property from the oligarchs there, billionaires in Russia, the only thing that Russia has going on is the sale of their oil to two countries, China and Turkey. So putting up a big front or putting up a front somewhat holds true because they have bottomed out, Russia. So I'll leave you with a quote from Christone Kingfish Ingram on the song, Don't Let the Devil Drive. Say, don't let the devil ride because he'll end up driving. Monday, August 29th, 2022. This is the Sideshow with Theodore Parker. That's it. Hashtag.